Hey guys, go grab yourself a cup of your favorite tea or other hot beverage and join me for a nice tea time Q&A. I am not doing a theme today, just a general question and answers video. I asked you guys to send me your questions on Instagram and I'm gonna go through them and answer some of them today. So yeah, let's get started right away. Oh, I'm having a herbal tea, by the way. So let's jump straight into a deep question. Someone asks, if you had the book of your life, would you read the ending right away or not? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. I would not want to know when and how I'm going to die. It would give me the worst, terrible anxiety. No, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Do you ever feel lonely? If so, how do you deal with it? I do feel lonely sometimes. I live alone. I live in another city than everybody else I know. And I do get lonely sometimes, but what really helps for me, I also like being alone, by the way, so that's a good thing, I think, for me, given my living situation, but I meet up with people periodically. So for example, there are set days when my boyfriend comes over to visit and when I visit my parents or his family. I have friends over regularly, we play Dungeons and Dragons together, and I go to the scouting regularly where I meet kind of, you know, a group of people, and that kind of social interaction is usually enough for me to battle kind of loneliness. But if I do ever feel lonely and I can't meet up with someone, then I will usually just head into the city and walk around in a crowd of people. And it helps. I also like to have the radio playing or turn on the TV and just hear a human voice. That tends to help as well. But generally I just make sure I see people all the time. Okay, so this person has a few questions. First of all, how's the moving process going? Oh my gosh. Terribly. Terribly. I am literally in despair. I've had several breakdowns about it and I cry all the time. At this point, it seems pretty much impossible for me to move at all. And that is kind of holding back every aspect of my life, and it really frustrates me a lot. And it's just something that's on my mind a lot, and it's a very big part of my life right now, and it's going really bad. So yeah, that's probably not what you wanted to hear, but that is where we're at right now. Second question, if you had to cut your hair short, like above your shoulders, which type of haircut would you choose? Why would you make me do that? No, I would not want to cut my hair short, ever, 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 ever. But if I had to go above the shoulders, I would go just above the shoulders, like just a blunt cut, as long as possible. Yeah, I'd probably keep my bangs. But just to be clear, it's not gonna happen, guys. No. And third question, how come you speak French with such a great accent? I'm French. Oh, thank you. I don't think I speak French with a good accent. It's probably because you've only heard me say like one or two words in French at a time. But I took French in high school for 6 years, so I know a thing or two about French. I can understand it pretty well, but my active French has kind of sunk into the back of my mind. How much does your skin's undertone matter when choosing makeup, especially for more neutral people? And what are some useful tests to determine undertone if the tests involving vein color, gold and silver jewelry, etc. don't work? Thanks! I had the exact same problem. I just figured out pretty recently that I have an olive undertone in my skin, and I'm just an unusually pale olive, and that means that many colors don't look that great on me. I would personally say just disregard the rules altogether and wear whatever you feel looks good on you. Just try on different things, and if you like something, then wear it, and if you don't like something, then don't. I don't like rules when it comes to beauty, so just go with whatever you like. Do you have a favorite poet? Mine is Edgar Allan Poe, by the way. I am not really into poetry. To be honest, actually, I don't like poetry at all. I have given it a try, but it's just not my cup of tea. I do like Edgar Allan Poe though, I have to say that. If you could live in any country other than your home, where would you choose? This is one, I believe I said this last time, this is one I get every single time I do a Q&A video. And I'm gonna repeat once again, I have no desire whatsoever to leave the Netherlands, and if I were to choose, I would choose the Netherlands again. I was not born here, moving here was a conscious decision made by my parents, and I think they made a very good decision. And I think the Netherlands are a wonderful place to live. But if I had to leave the Netherlands for some reason, theoretically speaking, I would probably move to a Scandinavian country, Denmark or Sweden, probably, or the UK. Yes. maybe Ireland. What is your favorite time period in fashion and your least favorite? My favorite period in fashion is the 18th century, which I'm sure does not surprise you guys. And my least favorite period in fashion history ever, of all times, is the 1980s. I am so glad I was not around for that, because that, in my opinion, was just an abomination. The worst fashion thing going on in history. That's my opinion. How to choose the right career? I'm so confused right now. I always find it really hard to give advice on that, because my career was always, or my career choices were always really organic for me. I always just do what I like and what I want to do. There's always something that I kind of want to do, where my passion is, I guess, or something that I enjoy doing, and that's just the thing I do. And I try to make some kind of money from it. And if I'm lucky, it works, and if I'm not lucky, then I move on to the next thing. But I guess just figure out what it is you enjoy doing, what it is you're good at, and how you can monetize that. Maybe there is an already existing job in that field, and maybe you can create a job in that field. The world is so full of possibilities nowadays, so don't be held back. Do you prefer affordable drugstore makeup or high-end makeup that you know is great but expensive? I personally think makeup is one of those items that is just not worth spending a lot of money on, which might seem strange coming from me, but from like a beauty YouTuber, but yeah, drugstore makeup all the way. I rarely ever buy high-end makeup. In fact, I believe I've only ever bought high-end makeup when I used to do makeup on other people, and they would have like brides and everything. I bought high-end makeup for them, but that's like the only time I ever did. So yeah, drugstore. Do you get inspired by music? And if you do, what kind of music when you create new styles? I usually just turn on the radio and listen to whatever's on the radio. But if I'm doing a historic video, I will usually kind of like Google what the music was in that time period, and then try to listen to something similar or something that sounds like the music that they used to listen to back then. And that really helps me to kind of get into the whole atmosphere of the period and convey the look better. Usually comparable to what I will end up putting on the background of those historic videos. You can usually assume I've been listening to something like that all throughout the creation process. What is your take on minimalism, zero waste, living environmentally friendly, and all that? Well, first of all, I am all for people making conscious choices. I think everything you do should be thought out and a conscious decision. Personally, in this field, I try to do whatever I can, whatever I feel like I'm capable of doing at the moment. It's not something I'm incredibly involved in at the moment. I have other things on my mind right now. The kind of main way I try to make an impact is by being vegan at home and kind of as vegan as possible outside of my home. Waste reduction is something I'm conscious of, but I'm having trouble with. And minimalism is just not for me. I don't think I'm an excessive consumer, but minimalism is not something that really appeals to me as a lifestyle at the moment. So yeah. If you had to take up a new hobby and money weren't an issue, what would you pick? Horseback riding, cliff diving, cross-stitching. I would like to do cross-stitching one day. I have tried it before, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I was actually thinking about this quite seriously pretty recently. I would love to start maybe doing ballet en pointe. I have been doing jazz ballet for the vast majority of my life, pretty much since I was 5 years old. No, I have taken jazz ballet since I was 9, and I used to do classical ballet before that. So I have quite a bit of the technique, but I'm not classically trained really. So yeah, I would really enjoy just getting back into like classical ballet, and then maybe throw in some pointe. This is something that I might still do at some point in my life if I have more time and money. When you became self-employed working on your business, did you find it difficult to stick to your self-imposed deadlines? Any tips on disciplining so I can actually stick to my schedule? I am really hard on myself. So this is not something I have a problem with. I have more of an issue with allowing myself some rest and to not give myself deadlines every single day. So I don't know, I think I'm just naturally like that, so I'm not sure if I can give many tips on that. As soon as something's really important to you, don't you just kind of feel the motivation within yourself? I do. I don't know, I always set realistic deadlines for myself that I know I can meet, and then I just go ahead and meet them. There's not that much to it really. You just set deadlines and you do things. Wat vind jij van die nieuwe K3? Niet interessant. Sorry, ik heb het gevolgd. En ja, nee. Gewoon nee. Maar ik ben ook wel echt van de oude stempel, hè. Ik heb zeg maar de opmars van de originele K3 nog helemaal meegemaakt en zo. Dus ja. What do you do to keep your face clean without pimples? I am lucky I have good genes when it comes to skin. I have never had pimples. I get some hormonal ones, especially as a teen. I used to have some hormonal ones around my period, but other than that, I just have clear skin. I don't have to do anything. I don't really do much when it comes to skincare. I remove my makeup and that's pretty much it. If my face feels dry, I will apply some oil, but I don't do much more than that. What do you do to have tanless skin? Not sure I understand your question. I just have my natural skin tone and I do get a tan in summer and I get paler in winter, which is natural. I don't do anything to change my skin color, ever. Do you recommend getting bangs when your hair gets oily quickly? It's all up to you. Oily hair with bangs takes a lot of maintenance. If you're willing to do that, then go for it by all means. Bangs are great. If you're not up to the challenge of washing your hair every day, maybe 2 times a day, then don't. Hey Lucy, what advice do you have for the ones that don't know where to go with their career? How did you manage to stay focused to your goal when doing something that you hated or wasn't enjoying? Well, the only times I really did something I didn't enjoy were the times where I didn't have a choice, which was pretty much in high school, where I had to take certain subjects to be able to graduate, and then I kind of lost interest in Celtic studies towards the end of my studies, and I kind of tackled that by taking non-Celtic study courses. So I started taking art history classes, and luckily I was able to do that within kind of the frame of my study. So it can be hard to kind of push through, knowing what you're doing it for, and knowing that the thing you want is on the other side of this hard thing really helps, and just really keeping that in mind, that what you're doing this for, you're doing this for something that really matters to you, and when you do get there, it feels so good. So eyes on the prize. Which is harder if you don't know what the prize is or you haven't figured it out yet. Like I mentioned before, just kind of make a list of your whatever you enjoy and whatever your qualities are and your kind of capabilities, and try to find something that you would enjoy doing. I'll give an easy question. What's your favorite emoji? I'm pretty sure the one I use the most is like the crying laughing emoji. I don't know. I really like the upside down smiling face, and I really like the girl with the pigtails that kind of looks like me. And I like plant and animal emojis. I don't have a clear favorite here. Would you like to do a house tour? Because we only see your room and kitchen, and I don't know, it would be cool. Well, the thing is, this room and my kitchen, that is my house. There is no more house. This is it. Which is one of the reasons why I'm so desperate to move out of here as soon as possible. Yeah, this is it. I literally have this tiny square of space and the kitchen, and I share my bathroom, and you've seen the bathroom as well in like hair care videos and stuff like that. But that is it. That's everything. But I am planning on doing an updated room tour, because a thing or two has changed since I last did one. So yeah, I will probably have an updated kind of house tour up on my channel soon. If YouTube and blogging didn't exist, what would you have pursued as a career instead? Probably web design. Yeah, probably web design. That is something that I enjoyed since a very young age. When do you want to get married and how many years? Honestly, I would like to get married whenever. Sooner rather than later, but we have to find a place to live first, because moving in together is going to cost a lot of money, and then a wedding is also going to cost a lot of money, but place to live has priority, so it might still take a while, like years, before we actually do get married. How do you deal with bangs in the heat to keep them from getting clumpy from sweat, etc.? When it's so hot that I get sweat on my forehead, I just clip them back. I cannot be bothered to deal with them then. Are you spiritual at all? How do you feel about meditation or even just everyday gratitude towards small things like the smell of wet soil, moss on trees and colorful flowers? I used to be very spiritual in my late teens. It has gotten a lot less. After that, yeah, stuff like this hasn't really been a big part of my life for the past few years, mostly because I feel like I don't need that support from that anymore, because I'm pretty good emotionally, so I don't really practice any like spiritual stuff anymore, meditation and stuff like that. What color do you dye your hair? It looks amazing on you. How do you choose the right color for your hair? I always find it really funny. I get this question a lot. I always find it really funny how people assume that my hair is dyed. I don't dye my hair, guys. I haven't in years. I had a little episode with like green washout dye for a few weeks pretty recently, but that is it. I don't. This is my natural hair color. And what you can see in pretty much all of my videos from the past 5 years, I'd say, is my natural hair color. So yeah, I don't dye my hair, and I have no idea how to choose the proper hair color because everything I've done in the past has looked not that great in hindsight. Who are your most watched YouTubers? Oh, I've said this before. I will say it again. The Mitchellax. Gosh, guys, if you haven't watched their vlogs yet, you have to go over to their channel, watch their videos. They are amazing pieces of art every single week. I love watching Grayson grow up. I don't like children, but I love him for some reason. And I adore the Mitchellax. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop here. I've drunk my tea. I've answered most of the questions that have come in so far, and this video is getting pretty long. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will have a link in the description box. Thank you so much to all of my patrons. I really appreciate you guys. I will have another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!